Hello, everybody. This is out of character for the show, but we need to settle on the bench for just a second to talk about the sponsor of today's show, Knack. Do you carry around a lot in your backpack like how LeBron James had to carry the Cleveland Cavaliers to 4 straight NBA Finals appearances? Does your messy and disorganized backpack make you want to pull a Bobby Knight and throw a chair across the room? Well, with Knack bags, you can look that frustration straight in the face and tell it, you're out of here!
Knack bags are a combination of your everyday backpack, a travel backpack, and a laptop bag. You have several pockets around the bag, plus a patent-pending hidden expandable carry-on bag that will help you keep everything you're carrying around organized. Pockets on pockets like Patrick Mahomes picks up passing yard after passing yard. Plus, the interior is as padded as a lineman, allowing you to keep all of your electronics safe and sound. The best part, you don't have to look like the student athlete that just came out of a 3-hour lecture class. No matter the need for your bag, Knack fits your lifestyle. Its look is sleek, organized, professional, and stylish, allowing you to look your best while you work your best.
And right now, if you head to knackbags.com for a limited time, use the promo code BENCH with your next order to get a free TSA-approved lock with purchase. Make sure to add the TSA lock to your cart with your Knack bag of choice and use the code BENCH at checkout to get it for free. Knack, the one-bag life.
This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
If we're talking about a pitcher like a Garrett Cole, like a Max Scherzer, yes, Nick, I think that's more incentive for him to stay in and try to get this thing. Also, I think what else gives a little more incentive for him to should have maybe stayed in, he's never pitched a perfect game.
Nick Morgeson.
And I love when athletes do this. They go on just like this random podcast that has no follows, and then all of a sudden you see them on Sports Center, and you see them on all these big platforms, and then they get blown up. And then you're basically watching a dog lick itself while Baker's being interviewed.
And Nick Federa.
All right. Which one of us hasn't pirated an illegal DVD?
Empty the Bench starts now.
I was just going to say, I guess that's what you get for owning the Hard as a Rock Hotel.
Welcome to Empty the Bench, episode 131. I'm Tom Albano, that's Nick Federa and Nick Morgeson, who are busy giggling their behinds off as I'm trying to get this show started here.
Oh, man. Welcome to episode 131. If it's going to be one of those days, then we have a long show in store.
We do have a long show in store anyways. We got a lot we got to go through. We got some NBA playoffs to talk about, and with the NBA playoffs, I wouldn't be so much wooing Mr. Nets fan, because the main topic about that is drama involving one, your favorite Brooklyn, what's it called? Conspiracy theorist.
Tinfoil hat enthusiast.
There we go. We also got several baseball stories, one of which includes a former Yankee, and another of which includes a university over in our neighboring state of New Jersey.
Yeah, about that. We'll get to that story later.
I think if there's one thing we've all learned on social media, by the way, it's don't mess with Mike Tyson.
No, you can't mess with Mike Tyson. And if there's one thing, people really need to be... They've known that for 25 years. Evander Holyfield knows it.
I mean...
I hate you. Get the out of here.
Or just have him say that. I hate you. Get out of here.
I mean, that story was nuts, and we'll get to that a little bit later, too, because somehow randomly there happened to be a TMZ person on the plane that just happened to get the video while the guy was doing this.
Yeah. But let's start off with the football news. So, guys, we are less than a week away now from the NFL draft.
Woo!
Now, obviously, this draft class isn't exactly the most exciting. In fact, day one apparently is going to be a lot of offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Fun. But like last year, it seems like the big storyline is going to be more about the trades rather than the picks themselves. Now, last year, of course, that was involving one Aaron Rodgers. And as of right now, I know we have the Giants, our hometown Giants and the Kadarius Toney situation, but it seems like what's taking the spotlight right now at the NFL about possible trades is one Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. So Deebo Samuel had, let's say, an incredible season last season, and he was awarded with a mega extension that was worth, let's see here, 4 years, $96 million.
And I think a large portion of that was guaranteed. So,
Well,
If
everything's fully guaranteed now. That's not saying much.
But
I
I mean,
mean-
football's the one sport you don't really see it all the time.
Yeah, where that actually is a caveat. But what's surprising here, I mean, Deebo Samuel, he really was there any, indication in this during last season that he might not be happy, or
Well,
I'm
supposedly,
confused about the source of his
Well,
discontent.
okay, so supposedly one of the details about this supposed frustration is that now, if you guys remember San Francisco, their running back game has been pretty much on the IR the last 2 seasons. You've seen a lot of injuries to their running game.
Well,
Deebo Samuel is a very versatile player, and he was able to both rush and receive. Apparently, Samuel, according to some reports, wants to be a full-fledged receiver. He does not want to do any more running back duty.
Well, yeah, because again, that makes him more valuable. And if he's going to be more valuable, he wants to be paid. But what is weird in this situation is, you know what? Don't offer me a contract. Don't offer me anything. Just trade me. Don't even think about offering me. Like, don't do the baseball thing where they offer you so that you get a draft pick in return. No, don't offer me anything. I'm walking out the Golden Gate Bridge doors and leaving.
I mean, are you walking off the Golden Gate Bridge? Because I don't think you're going to like where that trip ends up.
You're going to end up in hell.
So,
But still, at this point, I mean, what can they get? What do you really think they'll listen to him?
I don't know if they really trade him. I mean,
They
I
won't.
mean, they do have the 49ers do have some wide receivers in their, some young wide receivers in their core in addition to Deebo Samuel. They've also got Brandon Ayuk, who was supposed to be an interesting pick for them, but apparently fell out of favor during the last season. But they still have Deebo. I mean, they have Deebo. They still have, as I said, Brandon Ayuk. They have Jawan Jennings, Malik Turner.
They have a good team.
They have some young pieces. And actually, when you're talking about the running back situation, Raheem Mostert, who, he proved himself to be a beast towards the end of 2020 with the playoffs and Super Bowl and all that loss to the Chiefs. But the last couple of seasons has been very banged up. But Mostert is gone. Right now, you got Elijah Mitchell. And from what I saw with Mitchell, if he stays healthy, there's a chance, at least in terms of the fantasy numbers wise, he could be a top 10 running back this season if he stays healthy enough.
I don't even think that's their biggest issue. This is not their biggest. Their biggest issue is
The
quarterback situation between Garoppolo and Trey Lance. If that's
and that's the thing, but that's the thing, and why I think they're also not going to trade him is because imagine if they move on from Garoppolo and they go with Trey Lance as we've been planning. So all of a sudden, this young, dynamic, explosive receiver who's versatile, all of a sudden you're going to lose him, and you don't know what you're going to get, and it's like, okay, good luck, Trey. Not fair on Trey.
So here's the issue at hand. If Garoppolo is there, I think that Deebo is a little more expandable at that point. If Trey Lance
or expendable,
expendable, excuse me, is more expendable. If Trey Lance, who's more of a dual threat quarterback, he's going to run the football here and there. He's going to maybe go play action on certain plays.
Then he needs weapons.
Then you need weapons. But if you're going to say you're just going to say F Trey Lance and I'm going to keep Garoppolo.
If that's no, I'm sorry, Nick, but if that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm just very high on Trey Lance. If you remember from last year, if you remember from last year, I was very high on Mac Jones and Trey Lance. So if they're not willing to start Trey Lance this season, if they want him to sit behind Jimmy G more, then just have him get rid of Trey Lance.
This is
going to
gonna
him up trade.
It's going to be an Aaron Rodgers situation all over again with Jordan Love. Or actually, I'll go even further back. This is Brett Favre with Aaron Rodgers sitting behind.
Jordan Love right now is screwed because after this offseason, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is ever going to leave Green Bay until he retires.
They're talking about trading him possibly at the draft.
Then if that's the case, then what the hell was the 2020 draft all about for the Packers?
It wasn't. They were trying to piss off Aaron Rodgers to see what would happen. That's what they were trying to take. You know how they say you're taking the temperature of somebody in a situation, you're trying to figure that out? That's what that was. That was a temperature making move. But
yes, but there are ways to do that don't involve figuratively sticking your genitals into a ceiling fan.
Oh.
And that's essentially what the Packers did at this point. I mean, look,
we barely got to the 10-minute mark of this show, and we've already got.
By the way, Nick, you're welcome for next week.
Thank you. But still, the point. Why is it that I'm reminded of Stephon Diggs? I am.
What about Stephon Diggs?
It really seems to me like the 49ers don't realize just how important he is until you trade him, and then all of a sudden you trade him to the Seahawks or to the Patriots or to the Chiefs, and then he starts lighting the league on fire again.
Yeah, but the difference for Stephon Diggs needed a change of scenery in the worst way.
Change of scenery, but the Vikings were stupid. I honestly, honest to God, just stupid.
I wouldn't call it stupid because now they have Jefferson, don't they?
Yeah, they have Justin Jefferson.
Still, wouldn't you rather have both of them?
But you're not because eventually
it's probably too unrealistic to have both of them.
The cap,
and even if you do, well, goodbye Adam Thielen. You're not going to have all three.
Right, that's the problem. You run into a cap situation. I talked about this last week. When you look at guys like Derek Carr and Devontae Adams,
look at Devontae Adams. The reason Justin Jefferson's now the number one receiver in the NFC North is because the Packers paid so much money to Aaron Rodgers just to stay now that they had to trade Devontae Adams.
Here's the problem. The NFL, you're never going to have what they call the full all-star team in the NFL because they actually do something which I think is smart, which is to spread the players around the NFL because of the cap. Can you imagine if MLB had a cap and they actually had to follow rules and that you couldn't just sign anywhere and everywhere just because of money?
I mean, I'm sure the Pirates would love that because it would still allow them to royally screw over the game like they have been.
No, you're missing.
They and other teams have been doing for a couple of.
Nick, you're missing the point. The point you're missing is that the NFL actually is, for the most part, competitive, except for a few teams, because there's a cap and because there's only certain places teams are willing to spend the money.
Really? Because it seems like the Jaguars have been rebuilding for the past 20 years.
I said a few teams that are not competitive. So the Jaguars are one. But if you look at the rest of the league, for the most part, it's competitive.
The Jets are two. The Giants are three.
Right. But
I disagree. We see the exact same cycles of boom and bust that we do from MLB.
But my point is, in MLB, you can basically they'll go on bad teams because of the money. If you look at the NFL, you're not going to go to a bad team just because of the money. I'm sorry, you're not.
I think also, I'd say just to give Nick Borgerson's argument some credit, I think this goes back to some conversation we had with Johnny last week. I think when you look at, again, when you're talking about connecting with Major League Baseball, you look at the Mike Trouts and the Bryce Harpers and the Manny Machados who take these big deals. Honestly, the ring doesn't matter as much because they're getting the big deals, which I think part of that might also be the commissioner too. When you realize that Rob Manfred just a couple of seasons ago called the World Series trophy a hunk of plastic.
Hunk of metal, but yeah, same thing.
He's essentially treating it like a hunk of plastic and not a hunk of metal.
I mean, we're talking about a guy, we're comparing leagues here. Roger is the opposite, where he's willing to just take in every single dollar and give for the most part. He actually will be willing to give the money to the player.
Wait a minute. Are you actually defending Roger Goodell?
Over Rob Manfred. Over Rob Manfred, I would.
That is definitely a first. Somebody mark this down. Day and date, and timestamp it. That is the moment where Nick Morganson was forced to defend Roger Goodell. Of course, It's in comparison to somebody else, but it's still history making.
Let me ask you a question,
On
Nick.
the bench today, history has been made.
Nick, would you rather at this point have Roger Goodell or Rob Manfred?
No.
I mean,
No.
Gary,
There is
Gary Bettman is a third option.
there is no. I'm asking you in theory between the
Vince
two.
McMahon.
Yes, Vince McMahon. I would take it on.
No. It's gun to your head. You have those two choices, and there's no options. Which one is?
Come on, have some fun.
Well,
the obvious
we're
answer,
gonna-
is Roger Goodell.
Yeah. Well, I would shoot myself too if I had to choose those two. But at the same time, I would take Roger Goodell over Rob Manfred. I never thought I'd say that in a million years, considering I'm a baseball guy.
I know. That's why this is so surprising to me.
But I don't know. This whole, to wrap this Deebo situation up, he's like every other disgruntled athlete who doesn't like their situation and says, you know what? Don't offer me money, which, by the way, sounds really stupid when you say don't offer me money, when that might be the only money you might get offered if you go out on the market, right? Just saying.
Maybe. I think there are going to be teams out there that are going to want Deebo. I mean, there's theories about the Jets and the Eagles and the Titans, but I just think for the purposes of the 49ers and the direction that they were leaning towards, throughout these last couple of seasons, and with the possibility that Trey Lance is going to, and honestly, and at least in my opinion, should be taking the helm, should be taking the reins of the team, they can't get rid of Deebo.
They can't, because it and like I said, it all goes back to the quarterback situation. It all depends who they have. First of all, in my opinion, it should be Trey Lance, and we shouldn't be talking about any other quarterback. Garoppolo is damaged goods after the surgery. So,
and I'm sure there's going to be a quarterback desperate team that's going to settle for Jimmy G. Now, obviously, if you put Trey Lance on the market, I think you're going to have several more teams. But again, like the direction this team you're going to go with Samuel and Ayuk and Elijah Mitchell and Lance, you're getting ready for a young team, because right now you had a team that was still playoff competitive, maybe not the Super Bowl competitive team that you were a couple of years ago, but still playoff competitive, and you were only going to get younger. It makes no sense to take steps backwards when you've been taken into the whole direction that this team has been going in.
well, yeah, obviously. I mean, you got to make a choice. I think you got to go with the younger guy, but I would just... You can't win. The Niners can't win in this situation.
Nope.
All right. Moving on. So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Dwayne Haskins' death, talking about how he was in Florida, training with some of his fellow team members on the offensive unit. And the 911 audio was found and released by actually a friend of the show, and Andy Slater, who was down there in Florida.
Of all guys, it seems that he always finds these investigative pieces, doesn't he?
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he gets these. He didn't call this one a Slater scoop for obvious reasons. But
Yeah, I would hope not.
But still, I don't know how he pulls this off.
Well, I have the audio here. I'm going to play it from our page, which we got from him.
Yeah, I will warn that the audio is kind of disturbing to listen to. So,
well, we'll play a little bit because it's long, and then we'll kind of break it down.
I was gonna say, actually, I think I would say, are we playing it from the beginning, or are we playing it from when
I'll play it a minute in because that's kind of where.
Yeah. So to give some full context, basically, the first minute of the audio, which again you can find on Andy Slater's page and you can find on our Twitter page at ETB Sports. The first minute you just hear
screaming,
a lot of screaming, and it turns out that call came from a passerby. A witness to the tragedy. But now we start a minute in, and this is the second call that comes from his wife,
who's not even in the area.
Yeah, she's in Pennsylvania. That's it. To give some more context here. The wife is calling from Pennsylvania. Apparently, she says this too, that she had just finished talking with him.
Which makes no sense. But let's listen to a little bit of it first, and then we'll figure this out.
Hello, this is 911. You were on the line.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I was trying to hear you, and I'm in the middle of the 95.
Okay, ma'am, what's going on there?
There was a man hit in front of me. I was traveling on the road, and I saw a dump truck hit the man. Because my husband, he was stuck on the side of the highway getting gas. He had to go walk and get gas, and then he said he was returning to the car on the highway. We were on the phone. He said he was going to call me back after he finished putting the gas in. And I kept calling and kept calling. He wasn't answering. Eventually, after 10 minutes of calling, the phone eventually cut off. And it's not working now. And I had his location. And I just want somebody to go in the area and see if his car is there, if he's okay, if anything happened to him.
Ma'am, what highway was he on?
So on the location, it says it's by Marina Boulevard, Southwest 19 Territorial, Lauder Way North, and there's a big highway, I think 95. He was like on the three little highways.
Was he walking on 595?
You said, was he walking?
Yes, on 595.
Maybe. Is it by Osacola Creek? I'm not listening, as you see.
Where are you?
I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm at home. We were on the phone. He was getting back, and he called me, and so that's just not right for him not to call me back, and his phone to go dead, and he was stranded by himself. He was walking though.
All right, so I don't want you to panic, but I'm going to be honest with you. You do have an incident on the highway, but I can't confirm if that's your husband or not.
Does it have a description of him? How long ago?
We have units en route right now. I think rescue just got on scene. Hang tight.
Rescue? He's been rescued?
1 second, ma'am. Just hang tight.
All right, this is crazy. This I don't know how to react to this audio. But we learned a lot from that. A lot more than we thought we originally heard.
I'm a little, like you mentioned, I'm a little surprised that the wife was calling in from Pittsburgh about the situation down in Florida, but apparently she was using, what is it, like the phones or whatever, trying to figure out. I mean, technology these days, man. Technology can be a big help in some scary times like these.
I mean, you could be across the world and be making these calls. Like, again, coming from the business that I worked in broadcast, you could be in California doing a show in New York, and you could sound like you're inside the studio when you're actually not.
And at this point, first, we know that he was hit. The reason why he was on the side of the highway in the first place was because his car had run out of gas, and he was trying to head to the local gas station.
So the gas station story that we had heard, one of the rumor story from a couple of weeks ago, supposedly now it seems to be true.
Yeah, but originally we had heard like that they were training on the highway, and they were
training in Florida. They are training in Florida.
They're training in Florida, but again, this is Twitter, and misinformation is king. So you're going to get a steady diet of bullshit anyway.
The only thing that the only thing I can take away from this in a sense of relief is pretty much the fact that we were condemning Gil Hodges a couple of weeks ago for his comments, was absolutely right to be condemned, because my God.
That is just.
I was gonna say, you see, talking about how he was living to die, and from whatever you have heard over the last couple of weeks about Dwayne Haskins, maybe his time in the NFL wasn't exactly great, but he was making. If you have heard all the stories,
making the most of it.
He was making the most of it. He was making a lot of change to his character. So,
But that's something that goes unfulfilled, and that's what the tragedy is here. Because, again, it's not necessarily so much that he only was this. He only was defined by his potential. It was he still deserved better than what he got, and we never were able to see that.
I still think people are too sensitive off the Adam Schefter tweet that was put out originally about the story about potential.
No. I mean, I don't think that, because to be honest with you, somebody did die. So
No, I get that, but he didn't say a bad thing about Dwayne Haskins. He was just saying the potential starting quarterback or whatever he said in the tweet. I think people are jumping over the top, being a little too sensitive about it. But just for bookkeeping purposes, I just want to say it was Gil Brandt was the guy who.
Yeah, Gil Hodges was the manager of the Mets.
But I looked back at our clips, which, by the way, everyone who watched that, thank you. Lots of clip views that we got on that when we talked.
We're really sorry that it had to be that.
Right.
Yeah.
But Gil Brandt went completely off his rocker when he was.
Like I said, a
90 years old or not. I mean,
like a couple of weeks ago, I said, God bless him that he's 90, but I don't think he should ever be on NFL programming ever again.
He shouldn't be on Sirius XM NFL radio. He shouldn't be on NFL media. I mean, you can't go on media, on radio or TV, or digital. I don't care what it is. You can't say someone was looking to die. You can't say it. It doesn't matter how bad the person is.
Especially now that we know it was a senseless tragedy. I mean, he was just looking for gas. He wasn't looking for trouble. I mean, it does say a lot that always does seem to be the implication that he had in his head.
But is that again? I'll say it again. Is it a race thing? Is that why he's saying it? I don't know.
I mean, I'd hope not, but you know what? You saying these things doesn't exactly prove a lot to the contrary. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, obviously, but it is what it is, and unfortunately, now we kind of have some, I guess, closure would be the word to put towards it. Now that
but now it comes now his family now they do now. It's going to be a rough process, and really condolences. My heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, one last football story here before we move on to the NBA playoff update. So the next edition of the match has been confirmed. So that's the thing. It's golf, but everybody in the match is going to be a football star. And it's going to be the veterans in Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers taking on the young guns in Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what the fuck even is this?
I think that's another potential nomination to next week's clip.
I'll tell you what it is. It's money. It's the NFL who wants promotion and they want money. They don't do this because for fun's sake. They do this because the NFL wants to be everywhere.
You were just defending Roger Goodell. Don't you feel stupid now?
It's not that I defended Roger Goodell. I just said he makes more sense at this point in time than Rob Manfred, who doesn't know how to run his league.
If I may direct your attention to the lower third of the screen.
I'm saying that
I know you can't see it because I'm in the way, but let me get out of the way. You can see it now?
I'm just saying there's certain promotional things I don't like that Roger Goodell and the NFL do, and this is one of them. This is like the next version of Dancing with the Stars when we put the next Bachelor on it.
It's the masked football slinger.
What, is Rudy Giuliani going to make an appearance on this show too? I'd love to see him throw a football.
Of course he's going to spike it into the rafters.
just don't be a Jack in the Box.
Oh God.
Well, okay,
right,
I'm not going to make that joke.
Well, speaking of being a Jack in the Box, Nick, you were about to spring up with explosion now because it is time for you to talk about Kyrie Irving again.
Well,
I supposed to be Jack Hole in the box.
More like jacking in the box.
Jackass in the box.
Between that and his Ramadan schedule where he couldn't eat for 30 days.
I mean, no, don't make fun of that. Make fun of the fact that he did that. He's goddamn crazy.
Well,
the fact that he thought the world was flat.
Well, that's an old story, but my point would be that he decided, you know what? F you to the crowd. Let's double bird everybody in the process.
Context is necessary.
Right. So in game one, of all games that you want to look, that you're looking for attention in a series, and he actually put up 39 points in this game, 18 points in the fourth quarter, and he said, you know what? F you. To the fans.
The Boston fans kind of gave him some
grief.
Crap.
Don't get me wrong. Boston fans.
It's Boston fans, so you shouldn't be surprised.
Don't get me wrong. Boston fans are horrible. Like New York fans, they're horrible. Like Philly fans, they're horrible. But
and basically Kyrie responded by saying, I mean, if we're going to go on off of, how he is a flat earther, he basically wanted the fans who were booing him to walk off the edge of the earth.
You ever heard of a bird in the hand is two in the bush?
Yes.
Like that's what I think of Kyrie Irving. Like
he was just telling them to plant 2 sticks on the ground. I don't know what you're talking about.
But you know what? His performance was top notch.
He was just directing them to the jumbotron.
Right.
Saying, it's up there.
It's up here. It's up here.
He says he appreciates the fans. You're all number one to me.
You're all number one.
I put out a funny tweet on my account the other day. I said, "Oh, it's Malcolm in the middle."
You're not the boss of me now. Which is probably what he was telling the fans.
But I mean, I understand the sentiment because, again, fans can be terrible.
Yes, but they're paying your salary.
I mean, the league is paying your salary.
No, where is that money coming from?
Ipso facto, yes, I get it.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
You know where it's coming from? $20 for this hot dog, $30 for this beer with special cup.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Would you like some Coca-Cola? $40.
Don't get me wrong. When the whole Russell Westbrook situation happened where he got popcorn thrown at him by a fan or the water bottle thrown at him and they actually arrested that fan and basically carried him out of the stadium, that's one thing. If you're dumb enough as a fan, I mean, we talked about this. What does it say on the back of your ticket?
Isn't there like you're technically responsible if you get thrown out or something?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes. It's the discretion.
I've never been to a basketball game in person, so.
So you haven't been to a game and a game broke out?
I mean, I'd love to go to a fight and see a hockey game break out, but still.
But
let me go call up Uncle Dean and see if I can arrange for a UFC hockey game.
don't put it past him; he'd do it. But what exactly? But all the punditry, that we've seen over the past couple of days since this happened, you would think the man pulled a Ron Artest and went up there and beat the stuffing out of the guy who did it.
No, I wouldn't say it's that bad.
No, that's Mike Tyson. We'll get to him later.
But I would say that Ron Artest was the cream of the crop back in the Malice at the Palace. That was a fight for the ages. They made a whole Netflix documentary out of that.
Yes, they did.
And I still want to see it. Well, I might not be watching Netflix anymore with all the commercials, but that's a whole different story.
That's for Beyond the Bench.
Yeah, but my point is, Kyrie Irving went into his press conference after the game and said, "Oh, well, they said bad things to me, so I should be allowed to say bad things back." No, that's not how it works. Sorry.
I understand the sentiment because Boston fans, like New York fans,
you make millions of dollars. You make millions of dollars. You need to know better as an athlete.
Again, but you wouldn't have said that. You wouldn't have said that kind of stuff to Jackie. Well, then again, I mean, I was just about to say Jackie Robinson, but apples and oranges here.
That's racism, though. That's a whole different issue.
I'm sure they were using a lot of unkind words to describe him.
How about we just go with? I make mention of Mike Tyson all the time. How about we just go with this quote of his that I've been posting ever since the incident Mike Tyson that came out? Social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it.
Right.
If there's one person in the world you don't mouth off to, I mean, it's him. But
all right.
But wait a minute. I want to say one more thing about this, though, which is you should never approach an athlete. Russell Westbrook made this statement too. When we're in the court of public opinion or in the arena, they're allowed to do things to me, but I'm not allowed to punch them or beat them up because I'm the one at fault. What are athletes supposed to do? What are they supposed to do?
They're supposed to just, shut up and
Shut up and dribble?
I wasn't gonna go there. Just let your actions do the talking.
Sit there and take it, I guess.
Well, that was the whole. Do you remember way back when we covered the LeBron James incident? I'm not bringing it up for that. I'm just bringing up the when the woman was sitting in the front row and that became a whole thing. And
courtside Karen. Oh my God.
Yes, courtside Karen. Yes. And that became a whole phenomenon, and he got her kicked out, and she's going, I'm sitting in the expensive seats, blah, 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 blah.
Like, you and your expensive seats.
I know.
I can afford to go to expensive seats every
No
game.
shit, of course. But that's not how these things work. But, all right, let me just finish off the game. So he puts up 39. They score 18. They lose game one on a buzzer beater by Jason Tatum. They're down 1-0. Then they come out and completely shit the bed in game two. And KD goes 4 for 17 from the field and completely has a horrible shooting game. Kyrie looked awful. You would think that after all that nonsense that he would come out and even put up an even better game than the 39 points. But they're down 2-0. That series is basically over. They don't have enough to defensively to hold off the Celtics. So I think that series is over. Philadelphia, Toronto. Philadelphia, it looks amazing, and I'm kind of pissed off because James Harden's getting all the credit.
Well, here's something interesting. Toronto's leading 72-67 with about 3 minutes left in the third.
And actually, believe it or not, in this series, this news came out yesterday, and I put it out there on our account. Joel Embiid has I think a torn something. I forgot what it was. I'm trying to look it up.
Isn't something about his thumb?
I think he has a thumb injury. I'm trying to quickly look through and see where I put it. Oh, here it is. He has a torn ligament in his right thumb, but he's willing to play through the pain for the rest of the playoffs. Talk about injury management.
Yeah, I actually took the words right out of my mouth.
So, they're up 3-0. They're going to win that series. That's going to be over. Toronto's going to be out. That's an upset. Luka Doncic has been confirmed by all NBA sources that he is going to play in Game 4. So now I think the series will get tied up. Or actually, no, excuse me. I think they'll go up 3-1. And I think that series
pulls it off then?
I think they pull it off. And I think that I'm surprised the way Utah's playing too. Memphis and Minnesota, which was probably a much better series than people are giving credit for. That's Ja Morant versus Karl Anthony Towns, probably two of the youngest up-and-coming stars in the NBA. Let's see. Memphis is up 2-1. Memphis should win this series, but right now it's going to be a back and forth. I could see this going all the way in round one, to be quite honest. The series that I'm really looking at is Milwaukee and Chicago. Chris Middleton is hurt. He's going to be out the rest of the series.
Yes, but watching the Milwaukee-Chicago game yesterday was...
I had to turn it off. The Chicago came out flat. And then they lost by 30 points.
You can't lose a playoff game by 30 points.
No Lonzo for the rest of the playoffs. DeMar DeRozan looked like he was lost out there.
What's his name? Io, they just continue to ride the bench for I don't know how long.
And they keep leaving Vucevic open on the perimeter. He's not hitting the shots. When you're leaving a guy open, you got to hit shots. If you're going to brick everything, you might as well just wave the white flag in quarter one and just say, I'm out of here.
If you're going to brick everything and just not play to your full potential when you're taking on Giannis and company, you may as well just go home.
You might as well just go home at this point. Other series, Golden State and Denver. I'm really not surprised. Golden State is like back to normal form.
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry, who came off the bench and scored 30-plus points in 25 minutes. I mean, just wait until he's back to full form, and that team is running on all cylinders. They might win this year again, and that's without KD. That's without other guys. That'd be unreal. The one series you're going to be shocked on me on is Phoenix and the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans have a chance to pull this series off. I do.
I don't. I'd say I know you're the NBA expert on this show, but I don't know about that one. I don't know how you can say that.
Devin Booker looks hurt. He is hurt. Chris Paul is one more injury away from the rocking chair. And I don't know. The Pelicans look good. I mean, imagine if they actually had Zion, where that team would actually go.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've had to deal with no Zion for all of the season, and they got where they are, so...
I don't know. I mean, by the time we get to our next show, most of these series are going to be over. So Philly's going to win. I think Dallas is going to somehow pull this out. The Nets are going to be out. As much as I hate saying that, I'm a Net fan. I think the Nets are going to be out. Memphis should win. I originally said yesterday that I thought Chicago was going to pull it off without the Middleton injury, but now I'm concerned. So I think Milwaukee's going to pull that out. Golden State's 3-0. We know that's over. Miami, Atlanta, that's still going. It's 2-1. What the hell happened in Atlanta yesterday with Miami just completely blowing a lead and Trae Young hitting a circus shot to win the game? So Miami should win that series.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right. So, I was gonna wait on this one. I was gonna wait towards the end, but we've made reference it to a couple of times already. We might as well just go to the Mike Tyson thing. We might as well just talk about this. Yes, that you could play that sound effect quite a few times, actually. Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Again!
What you are listening to is Mike Tyson beating up that fan. So TMZ comes out with these videos, and one video shows Mike Tyson on a JetBlue airplane, basically beating the ever-living tar out of somebody and busting up their face.
All I can say is,
do we know if somebody came up to him and asked for an autograph, and then
here come the details.
So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was, I think he asked for a photo from Mike Tyson.
According to a witness who spoke with police, the passenger in the videos that you see. Well, I'll put one of the videos up just a little bit. Basically, had asked for a photo with Tyson, and Tyson agreed to take a photo. They did. Tyson went back to sit in the seat, and the man continued to bother Mike Tyson. So if you saw just that punching video without context, you would think about, oh, Mike Tyson's losing it again. He's sort of snapped. But as this video is about to show you, it's just take a look for yourself.
Here, let me grab it.
Okay. Can you see I'm borrowing the video. Okay, you can see?
Yeah.
All right. Let me play this for you.
This is George talking to Mike Tyson, bro. This shit crazy, bro. Mike Tyson. My dog done got lit, man. He over here rapping with Tyson. Mike Tyson trying to give us some shrooms. You don't know how to act.
He's talking to him about crypto, isn't he?
Crazy as fuck. Should have never gave you his money.
Peasants. They're peasants.
That blue net flight. Boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson. Turn that way. Yeah, he got fucked up.
Oh goodness.
So I mean,
all I was gonna say is this is what this deserves.
Now, we don't know what kind of shit he was talking to warrant a get hit.
He was drunk.
Apparently, he was drunk, and Tyson told him to leave him alone, and the passenger kind of refused. Now, according to Tyson and his team, everything seemed to blow over when the man apparently threw a water bottle at Tyson.
You know what? If that was the case, then Mike Tyson deserves to kick his ass.
And well, I was gonna say, well, as it turns out, TMZ did more digging. The man in question is Melvin Townsend, I believe, 32,
Yes.
and has a lengthy criminal history.
15 months and 20 months in sentences, separate times in
And
prison.
it's things like drug possession, and there was a 2018 incident where he basically stole a tractor, broke into somebody's property, stole their tractor.
Wait a minute. Not to make
It's not even the 15th most interesting thing to happen to that man.
Wait a minute. Not to make a horrible pun, but shouldn't he be a flight risk?
Yeah. I mean, what the hell?
I'm confused. Like when you've been around,
Not that what Mike Tyson did was right, because, well, I mean, it's Mike Tyson. He's crazy.
I mean, here's the thing. The kind of person that I am, I should be saying two wrongs don't make a right. But my God, just what kind of sane human being decides,
I'm going to annoy
go bother
Tyson.
Mike Tyson, the one-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, who has done some dangerous shit and bitten off Evander Holyfield's ear.
And he's done some crazy.
Oh, wait a minute.
To people.
Oh, wait a second.
A man who once said on national television that he would eat somebody's children.
But I was going to say, two wrongs don't make a right, but three rights make a left.
Yes, thank you for that, Cosmo.
But I don't know. The way I look at this is, if this guy, like,
how do you not know it was him?
No, they knew. And honestly, here's my whole question, and I think it was kind of answered. I'm actually taking this from a conversation that Michael Kay and Dylan McGregor were having on their radio show. If you are that friend, if you are the friend of, that person who got beat up, why are you putting out that second video?
I don't know if he was a friend. I think he just happened to notice that he was a reporter and a TMZ guy. And then
TMZ acquired the video from a friend.
Oh, did they?
That was recorded from a friend.
So if he's somebody's
and
friend,
I think Don answered it perfectly. Because if you saw, did you see that expression on the guy after he got beat up and he was posing for the camera? He got his 15 minutes of fame.
No, it wasn't even that. Wait a minute.
It really seemed like he was pleased with the outcome of getting.
Wait a second. You're forgetting something else too. It's not just 15 seconds of fame. What do you think people do today when they're around celebrities? They're looking for a bag.
I mean,
yeah, well, you know what? The way that that all this video and all the circumstances that come out across social media, like, again, it goes to what I was saying. If that one video got out of Tyson, wailing, he may have had a shot. But after that video that I just showed you, no shot in hell he gets.
I mean, you definitely could be in grounds to sue the pants off him.
It's all about
all that went out, but it really seems to me like there's somebody filmed that. If he's his friend, then he was trying to teach him a lesson. It's like, I'm filming this for posterity, so you don't try to do this shit again.
It's all about the money. How many times
that video that I just showed you? I think he screwed himself out of money.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying the reason he did it is because people will go after celebrities so that they can sue the pants off them for millions of dollars. Now,
yeah, well, in order to quote a different celebrity, congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself. And what's funny about, the assault itself is not funny. The absurdity of the situation is.
Exactly.
Actually, Nick, I'll go one step further.
Congratulations, dickweeds.
Congratulations, dickweed. You got.
Was it worth getting punched by Mike Tyson?
Yes.
And by the way, one more thing here.
I know you do things for the gram, but seriously, was that it?
Wait, there's one more part of this. Can you imagine if it was just him by himself going after this guy and there was nobody like trying to pull him away?
Oh God. Oh God.
Can you imagine if his security curtail was not there? What would have happened? He might have ended up in jail.
The guy who got punched, what's his name? Townsend. He might have been down for a 100 count.
No, he would have been dead.
Where's Mills Lane when you need him?
I'm just saying Tyson would Tyson would have ended up in jail if his security was not there. Because he would have beat the crap out of the guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? Again, I shouldn't be saying these things, but that's the guy's fault.
Of course.
What kind of logical, sane person decides to mess with Mike Tyson?
And by the way, that person must have some money because they were sitting in first class.
I mean, well, I mean, now you're gonna get some bag, but now you got a splitting headache to go with it.
I'm just saying, like, first of all,
how was that a badge of honor? I got punched out by Mike Tyson. That's like going viral for shitting yourself in church.
Wow.
Because you say that to somebody and they're immediately incentivized to seek out the video where you look like an idiot.
It sounds like a bad version of Confession.
You are going to have quite the choice of quotes from Nick Federa for next week.
I'm going to be all over next week's intro, aren't I?
You probably, I'd say, honestly, Nick and I shouldn't even have quotes. It should just be all Nick Federa quotes next week.
Great. Now I have to keep my mouth shut. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm a moron and a loudmouth and yes, all those things.
Speaking of dickweeds, though, there is a dickweed in boxing for this week.
Oh no!
And it's the fact that Oscar De La Hoya is getting sued on not 1, but 2 counts of sexual assault. 2.
And this is not the first time he's been in hot water over things of this nature.
Nope. But apparently there was a suit that was filed in LA court. It was a civil suit, not a criminal one, this past week. And I believe it's somebody who works with it's like a company that works in partnership with De La Hoya, and apparently is alleging that De La Hoya inappropriately touched her.
Again, you really need to take this stuff seriously.
Well, wait, okay, I need to ask
Oscar De La Hoya or not.
Wait a minute. I need to ask a few things. One, you work in a sport for many years. Have you noticed that people in this sport have led to dangerous situations in their personal lives?
Well, I mean, De La Hoya has also, this is not the first time he's been in trouble. This is not the first time he's had to deal with big issues. I remember there was this whole issue about him being a drug addict.
No, I understand, but I'm saying, and I'll throw Tyson in this discussion too, that look at the types of guys, aggressive people in the boxing industry, and they have personal life problems. I noticed that this sport has some issues when it comes to the way they handle their lives. Right?
Because some of them don't know how to handle themselves outside of the ring.
Right.
And some of them can't handle the fact when their careers are over. And then some of them just, unfortunately...
But Oscar De La Hoya has like a pretty successful production company.
He's got a pretty successful boxing. He's a successful boxing promoter. We went from boxer to promoter.
Right. So I don't know what his issues
Shouldn't be doing shit like this.
My point. I'm saying that he's doing just fine. I don't know why he's...
Because dumb. That's why, Nick. Because dumb.
Well, of course, it's dumb and it's asinine, and he should be canceled if this is proven proper. Now, I know Nick doesn't like that word. That's like a dirty curse word to Nick sometimes.
What, proper?
No, cancel.
Proper.
Oh.
Proper 12 Irish whiskey, ladies and gentlemen.
Proper 12 Irish whiskey. It's supposed to taste like grass.
But it tastes like crap.
Just like my UFC career.
It tastes like sheep shite. You're gonna love it.
Okay, Masvidal, please come fight me.
You know, he should have a new drink called Knockout since he gets knocked out so many times.
So off the rails.
No, that's going to be the name of Mike Tyson's next drink after all the publicity he's getting from.
No, that's Punch Out.
I like that.
See,
God, we're going so off the rails right now.
See, I might not understand the space 1,000,000%, but I get the jokes when necessary.
All right, let's talk some baseball before we wrap up. Let's go.
Wait,
some baseball.
Actually get to talk baseball?
Talking baseball.
And it's not about the Yankees. Thank God.
We do have one. Actually, we do have one about the Yankees, and we do have one about a former Yankee. But actually, we need to start off today with a salute, a breaking news salute. Miguel Cabrera has officially become the 7th player in Major League Baseball history to reach 3,000 hits and 500 home runs in their career. So congratulations to Miggy. Great career. I know this. I know these last couple of seasons haven't exactly been fantastic, but he got a milestone only a handful of MLBers could ever reach. So
Now he won a World Series with the Marlins, but does he go and he is a Hall of Famer? Don't dispute that.
Are you talking about what cap he wears?
Yes, is he going to go in as a Tiger or as a Marlin?
Oh, I think he's got to go in as a Tiger.
He's got to go in as a Tiger. I think he went to the World Series twice with the Tigers, right?
Was he on the 06 and 12 teams?
I think so. No. He wasn't on the 06, but he was definitely on the 12. I know that. Because 06 was what? That was the Giants?
06 was Cardinals.
Oh, he was on the one against the Giants.
Let's see. He actually, what's funny is that 2003 season, that was his debut season, Miggy.
Mm-hmm.
He made his debut in June of 2003. Then went on to become 11-time All-Star. Was the AL MVP 2012-2013. Yeah, he was on that 2012 team. 2012 was a year of Miggy.
That was a sick year, if I remember correctly, for Miggy. I think that was a Triple Crown year.
That was a Triple Crown, and he did as a Tiger. Yeah, so as much as he won that World Series in his debut season, he got his legacy as a Tiger, so he's got to go in as a Tiger.
You got to go in as a Tiger. I mean, I know he didn't win a World Series as a Tiger, but I think first of all, in my honest opinion, he still shouldn't be playing right now, to be quite honest.
Well, now that he's got this accomplishment, he's gonna retire at the end of the season, don't you think?
I don't think so, because he's still got a few years left at like 30-something million a year. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Okay.
If he really wanted to go somewhere, he should go on another team, not retire.
Yeah, still, what team is going to be willing to do something for him?
But we need to talk about the lead up to the dispute of Yankee fans and Tiger fans, because Aaron Boone, who loves to be the flair of horrible news, decided to intentionally walk Miguel Cabrera in his last at bat.
I mean, why not? Why let him get 3,000 off of you? I guarantee you, David Price has never gotten over giving up Derek Jeter's 3,000th hit.
Yeah, but you know what? Someone's going to have to give it up eventually.
Someone's going to have to give it up eventually. But in the moment, do you want it to be you?
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But would you again? I'd rather it not be me if I was in his situation.
This is now going to become a discussion about unwritten rules, which I can't stand, which is basically, you know what? Pitch to the damn batter. And you know what I saw yesterday? I was on.
Let me ask you, before you get into that part, let me ask you, what happened after they intentionally walked Mickey?
They gave up the lead and they lost.
Okay. I was going to say, well, thank you. No, because you play to win the game. So I can kind of agree with you on that one.
I mean, I don't.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
Twitter is going crazy right now because the Guardians are fighting with the fans in right field in Yankee Stadium right now.
Wait, what?
Garbage is raining on the field because Miles Straw went up into the right field and jawed with a fan.
Okay, I'll be right back. I will go.
The Yankees won the game. They just won the game.
It's over.
Never got a walk-off single.
But I think I want to see this.
Wait! I just found it. It just popped up on social media.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh damn! He's Spider-Man the wall.
He's gonna get suspended. He's got to get suspended.
He didn't climb in the stands though.
Okay, but he's still got to get benched for a game or something like that. I think he's gotta. Oh my! Yeah, let's throw that up.
Yeah, you want me to send it to you somewhere?
I have it. No, I have it.
You got to embed that one.
Oh
he didn't climb in the stands. We got to clarify though that he just went.
Yeah, well, hang on. We're trying to get it up on here.
Breaking news.
Yeah. So let's take our thing off of here. Let's bring this in. So, all right, the clip is about to restart. That is Miles Straw and the Guardians outfielders. And look, he just climbs up. He doesn't go in, but
He's Spider-Man the wall.
And he's chirping.
Yeah, but Nick, you got to be careful because he didn't actually climb in the stands.
Which, I mean, Yankee fans, speaking from the perspective as I am one, they can be dicks. They can be real assholes. So
Yeah,
I
but
can imagine what that guy said.
wait a minute. At the same time, you can't climb up on the wall and start drawing with the fans.
You can't climb up on the wall, but that guy is definitely going to get banned.
That guy's going to get banned. And
I mean, you don't do that. I mean,
wait a minute. Who's going to get banned?
That fan.
What? He didn't do anything.
No, because he was pointing to who it was.
But he didn't do anything.
You just said he threw trash on the field.
Apparently, apparently they were because
in this clip they don't. You don't even see trash on the field.
Don't even see it.
Regardless, guys. Regardless, I think Straw just for climbing the wall alone to get in the face, he's gonna get
suspended. He's
gonna get suspended, but you need to throw whoever it was that started drawing with straw. You got to ban them.
Yeah, but Nick,
come on, what the fuck are you doing?
Fans are allowed to draw from the stands. If he threw, it would be different if we actually had the full clip.
Apparently they did throw garbage on the field. So
until we actually see it, I don't see the garbage anywhere or the throw. If you're right and we can find the clip that he threw something on the field. What?
Hold
did you find it?
One of my fight fans one of my fight colleagues who is actually a Yankees fan just says Yankee fans embarrass me sometimes and has a clip, and oh my gosh, I am sharing this immediately.
You're gonna share this to our page? Yeah.
First I'm putting this on air right now.
Here. Oh my God!
Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
And look at Boone and Company after.
Oh my God! And the
fans do not do that. They were
the Yankees are saying the Yankees are telling them don't do that.
Down. We don't need that. They're throwing cans out there. Even Stanton saying you can't do that. That's an awful look. This is
All right, pause that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Ban those guys. Ban them immediately.
Wait a minute. Yankee fans just took being a disgrace to a whole new level.
It's funny because we started off this episode talking about terrible fans, and now we have a new contender, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say, I hate the fact that MLB is so money hungry because you know what the perfect punishment would be?
What?
Thanks to COVID, tomorrow we are going to have a fanless game.
Because of COVID or because of the fans?
Because COVID has taught us that we can do games without fans.
You can do it.
So,
no.
The Yankees are not going to allow that.
You cannot let this go unpunished.
No, I'm not saying let it go, but I'm saying that Yankees are going to fight it tooth and nail, saying that they're not going to be allowed to have fans. The Yankees are not going to stand for that.
I didn't say it was going to happen, but could you imagine if that punishment was allowed?
What are you doing? You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the team. You're embarrassing the league. You're embarrassing the rest of us who aren't fucking trash.
And by the way, we'll put these clips up so you can see them afterwards, so you can see them. But
I think we got to go. What?
This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. What are Yankee fans doing? I'm kind of disgraced to call myself a Yankee fan right now.
It's like, what is this?
I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of tempted in my fantasy leagues to bench all my Yankee and Guardian players tomorrow.
Well, that's a little tough. I wouldn't cut off your nose to spite your face, but Straw needs to be suspended. He's got to be suspended at least 3 to 4 games for trying.
I'd say 1 or 2.
Well, he was close.
He didn't get in. So
I agree, but why are you climbing the side of the stadium? He's Spider-Man onto the side of the wall.
I'm a little more. That's the number one thing that makes me laugh. I'm impressed by his physical abilities.
That also scares me that if he can get his foot in there, can a baseball get stuck in there?
I mean,
probably.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Hey, you think State Farm is getting pissed off right now that this is being played a million times?
Oh, because their logo's there?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, Barstool's already on the case for getting the clip out.
Let's we still have several more stories we got to
Yeah,
get through.
we'll come back to this if we have time.
Let's stay with the Yankees though. Let's go to a former Yankee now in Luke Voit and another clip of controversy. Luke Voit, he is now on the Padres, and the Padres were playing a series with the Reds this past week. And well, you know what? Let me bring that clip up. So apparently there was a slide in which Luke Voit ended up colliding with Reds catcher Tyler Stephenson. Stevenson ends up now Voit was out. Stevenson ends up with a concussion. However, he's on 7-day IL. And let's this clip comes from our friend over at John Boy. So let's have a look.
I'll get it.
Lines this down towards the left field corner. Voit is headed for third, maybe beyond. Yep. Mike Schutt's going to wave him around. Here comes the throw. He will be.
Oh, come on.
What a collision there.
Luke. Dude.
So Voit comes in hard.
So hang on. We're going to watch this from a couple of other angles. Let's see the slide in slow motion and in other angles to have a better look at it.
A collision with Tyler Stephenson, and Stephenson slow to get
up.
Oh,
my God. Did you see the arm?
Somehow held on to the baseball, but boy.
That's bad with the arm.
Hit full.
So we were having a pre-show meeting the other day, and I was able to look up the rule. I found the rule about catchers that was passed in 2014. And the rule is a runner may not run out of a direct line to the plate in order to initiate contact with the catcher or any player covering the plate. If he does, the ump can call him out. The catcher may not block the pathway of a runner attempting to score unless he has possession of the ball. Now, again, Nick and Morganson and I were having the conversation. It does appear that Stevenson may have been blocking the plate, but the problem I have with Voigt's slide, and I think Nick Videra picked up on it right away, was the overhand. The overhand, and actually both arms kind of clobbered Stevenson in the face, which you cannot do, because that looks like it was either A, intentional, which is a huge sin on the base paths, or B, he had no control over his body, which you need to have when you slide.
Well, yeah, it's not the slide; it's his hands. You slam that intentionally. You slam that guy's head into the dirt. I mean, he needs to be suspended. And I love Luke Voit, but you can't do that.
Here's the problem with this. Okay, so like I said, the throw first of all was offline. The throw did not make it all the way to home plate. So he had to go out. As they teach you as a catcher, you have to go out and get the ball. Don't let the ball come to you, because if that ball bounces off the grass in the way, you're missing that out anyway.
Well, it's slow mowing at that point.
Right. So you have to make a choice. Either you're going to go out and get it, or you're going to give up the run. So the arms part is wrong. The arms part, we can all agree, is not right. That he basically went up and grabbed it by the head like a soccer ball.
He screwed any chance he had of being called safe. That.
First of all, the action doesn't determine whether you're out or safe.
Yes, it does. Again, Nick, he initiated contact with a catcher. That's out.
But I think at the same time, you and I discussed this and we agreed, there is kind of a cancel out in effect, that because he was inside the baseline, that you could technically say he was blocking.
Even then, he was still called out anyway.
Right. But I'm just saying you could technically be canceled out in some aspects of it.
Maybe. But again, he screwed himself by...
I've never seen Voit, because Voit wasn't really running that much with the Yankees, to be quite honest. Well, he was busy being injured more than actually being on the field, but that's a whole different issue. But I don't know. I think people on Twitter are, because we all know how people react on Twitter. Their first reaction is to say, take him out behind the barn and shoot it and do all this.
Oh God.
Like, I understand fans are upset, but you can't threaten other athletes. You can't threaten these guys.
You can't threaten them, but again, slamming his head down into the ground. I mean, you can't do that. You can't.
Right. I understand. The arm action is wrong, like I said, but technically Stevenson was inside the line too, which is also against the rule.
let's move on. Let us make one more mention about the Yankees. So apparently all Yankee players have received the vaccine, and according to Aaron Boone, no one is in danger of missing any time when they go to Toronto on Monday.
Here's hoping here's hoping we won't see any Yankee fans throwing stuff in the field now. Sorry, I'm still shook about that, but geez.
I think I found my ETV minute already.
I'm doing that.
I'm already in. Yeah, Tom, you're off minute because of the schedule. So Nick's going to take your minute so you can have a break.
Okay.
So
I hate to say it now, but you might as well.
unless you want to switch the minute to.
Let's talk about this at the end because I didn't know about this.
Hey, folks,
okay.
this is what you get to go behind the curtain during the live show.
God, this episode is just crazy.
All right, let's end this quickly. So there's a class over at Monmouth University down in Jersey. It's a law class. They have submitted an 82-page document to Rob Manfred. Now, for those who don't know the name Armando Galarraga, in 2010, we mentioned the Detroit Tigers earlier in the show with Miggy. Armando Galarraga was pitching a game for the Detroit Tigers and was 1 out away from a perfect game. And the throw, it was a bounce back hit. They threw it to first. It was a ground ball. They threw it to first, and the runner was called safe.
Ironically, Miguel Cabrera went too far off of first base to get this ball. First of all, if you remember.
Well, apparently on the replays, Jim Joyce missed.
He was out. They clearly missed the call. But if you look back at the play, in essence, Miguel Cabrera was out of position where he was getting that ball.
And honestly,
out of position, but really,
guys, you could say this play helped speed along was the catalyst to instant replay in baseball.
Yeah, it was because I remember, the day I don't remember an umpire ever being that quick to say I was wrong. And I can't remember who was umpiring that day, who made that call.
That was Jim Joyce.
Jim
Joyce the next day went out. The next day, Jim Joyce and Armando Galarraga basically hugged at home plate, and Jim Joyce was in absolute tears, disgusted at himself.
And I felt bad. I felt bad for Jim Joyce at that point. But you're right, that was the catalyst. But if we have a chance, if Manfred has a chance to correct the record, because
the problem you have with that, Nick, the problem you have with that is then you gotta say, then we're getting into that realm.
Yeah, I know, slippery slope and all that.
Well, not just this. I mean, the slippery slope, yes, but also what you saw did not actually happen. Like when we talk about NCAA stripping of championships.
I was just going to say,
what you're going to have to do is that batter who was called safe, he's now going to have to be called out. So you have to lower his batting average, and that next batter who was out, you're going to have to ensure that basically that last at bat is taken away. I think it's a little more complex than just writing an 82-page document. Credit to that Monmouth law class. That's amazing.
They're not going to win.
It really is, but and I applaud
also,
the amount.
You're expecting Rob Manfred to do something good for the game, and
hell no, that's never going to happen.
And Rob Manfred being Rob Manfred, that's probably going to end up as crumpled up and thrown into a waste paper basket, if not used as toilet paper.
It's not going to happen. Rob Manfred doesn't have that kind of heart.
I mean, you have to have a heart.
Wait, I was going to say the Grinch's heart grew 3 levels.
No, it actually shrunk down. It went the opposite direction.
So, as pissed as we are at our fellow Yankees fans, as much we're talking about lack of heart in baseball, you know where there's a lack of heart and passion? In Oakland. No. To the point where Oakland was outdrawn in attendance by its AAA affiliate in Las Vegas.
Which, ladies and gentlemen, Oakland A's fans deserve better than this.
You know what? I hate to say this, but I have to do this a few times.
They really
they're moving to Vegas, aren't they? Let's face it.
It's inevitable at this point.
You know what? I was joking to my father the other day because I travel to the stadiums. We haven't done it in like a little over 2 years now because of COVID. I said we should go to Oakland and go and take a game in there because the seats will probably be incredibly cheap.
1, the seats will be incredibly cheap, and 2, it'll be the last time you can ever see a game in Oakland.
It'd be so much fun. I could literally sit behind the dugout for like no money.
Well, what happens to the AAA affiliate? Will they move to Oakland then from Las Vegas?
No, I think they have their own facility, and I think if they were smart, they would try to like do an all-purpose facility, but I know they won't do that. They won't.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just this episode has just gone off the rails.
One last story here, by the way. Let's make it more fun. Let's talk about Ukraine and Russia. So, Wimbledon has banned all Russian and Belarusian athletes from competing in their 2022 tournament. Now, according to CNN, the original plan was that if any Russian or Belarusian athletes came out against the attacks and came out against Putin, which is, if you guys know, Putin is a very brave thing to do.
Yes.
They would be allowed to compete. And then CNN, according to them, Wimbledon said, "Yeah, you know what? Never mind. You're all just banned."
So, I know it's difficult because you can't ban all the athletes because the all Russian and Belarusian people weren't clamoring for this war. I mean, you can't blame the people for the actions.
All you got to do is look at these videos that have been coming out of the Russian people who are protesting.
Yeah, and it's stupid to me to punish even vodka companies or
especially but especially when you say if you speak out against Putin, and again, speaking out against Putin is kind of dangerous.
It's a very dangerous thing.
Well, I'm the big tennis person here, and I hate to say this, but Wimbledon can't do this. They can't do this. This is not fair to the Russian athletes. I understand what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. You can't do it to the athletes who work hard all year. It's not right.
You can't, because what do you think that the Russian?
This reminds me, guys. Sorry, this reminds me of the boxing situation we had last month, in which one organization was trying to strip all the Russian fighters of their rankings and championships.
And that's wrong too.
Well, ultimately they decided, you know what? We're just not going to basically sanction any events in Russia. Which
wait a minute. Let me ask something here. So, just because they're from Russia, that means that that's their opinion on world matters? So you're going to punish every athlete?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying.
No, that's their thinking.
So just because they're not, since they're from Russia, that's their opinions? That's like saying that we're from here and we think everything is bad, so they should ban us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just, people always talk about sports shouldn't be political. This is how sports are being political. You're punishing people for not having.
Oh no, Nick! I see you put something in our thing.
So, does anyone want to hear what John Sterling's rendition of what went down when the Cardinals?
No!
Oh God!
Here we go. Here we go.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Now somebody threw something on the field, and the Indians are all running out to right center, and the Yankees are too. I mean, that ruins what would be a great Yankee comeback, and the Yankees have run out there and telling the fans, stop throwing things.
Throwing baseballs.
I think that's disgraceful. That's disgraceful. That's not Yankee Stadium. Those aren't Yankee fans. Hooligans. Anyway, what a dramatic inning.
I mean, holy, you know what?
You pissed off John Sterling. It's like pissing off Mr. Rodgers.
Wait a minute. I didn't realize John Sterling could get angry.
Oh, yes,
that's not baseball, Susan.
That's not baseball, Susan.
I already put the clip up, by the way, in case people are looking for it at ETB Sports.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope next week doesn't end up with any breaking news to just throw us off our game entirely. So
let's hope next week isn't so depressing.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Thursday, tune in at 8:00 Eastern, 5:00 Pacific for live reactions to the NFL draft round number 1. I will be there. Nick Morganson will be there. It is an Empty the Bench Game On crossover again, because Johnny's going to be joining us.
I will be there as well, so it's going to be
Maybe Hank too. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what we got, but we do this every year. We do the first round only, just because after the first round, no one cares. So,
So you'll see the reaction Nick Federa and I have to the Giants number 5 and number 7 picks. You'll see Nick Morgansen's reaction to the number 4 and number 10 picks that the Jets possess.
And you'll see Johnny try to corral the three of us.
yeah, well, we do this every year. Like we said, we usually do the draft first round, and with Johnny there, I think we'll actually have even more intense conversation of the draft this year.
So don't miss it.
And by the way, just so everyone knows, we're working on some live what are we going to call it? Walkthrough or play along games where we're going to sit and watch the NBA playoff games. Hank and Johnny are going to watch the Ranger games live on stream.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are coming up.
Baby.
Next week's the last week of the NHL regular season, so it's almost NHL playoff time.
So make sure you join our live streams because yes, we're doing that for the first time on our YouTube channel and our social media pages, and so I think even Nick said he was going to join them for a Ranger game too, didn't you?
Yes, I would. Yes, I am.
So it's going to be mostly for the away games because Hank actually goes to most of the Ranger home playoff games. So we might even get some live reports from there, actually.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
and also thanks to our sponsor Knack, which we forgot to say up front. I don't have my bag with me at the moment because it's all packed.
Oh, I'll show my bag.
So go to knackbags.com. Make sure that you put the Knack bag in your cart. Make sure you put the TSA-approved lock in your cart with your purchase of a Knack bag. Use the code BENCH, BENCH at checkout. Get a $15 valued TSA-approved lock for free when you use our word.
Make sure to put the lock in your cart.
Yes, I can't speak right now. But yes, TSA-approved lock. Use the term BENCH, code BENCH, and you will get it for free. Knack bags.
Thank you to our sponsor, Knack.
It's a one-bag life.
It is. It's a hard knock life for us as well. So that's going to do it. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I'll end it here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.